Get your roots out and wave them like you just don't care. Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. This is Rivals Fight Night featuring Iron Men.
Big boom. I give that 5 big boom.
5 big boom.
That is boom.
Boom.
Boom. Boom. Boom. Boom. Let's go, baby.
Welcome back, everybody. You are looking at the 3 most handsome gentlemen to grace your monitor since you started this broadcast. It's Rivals Fight Night. We have Uber. We have Jake. I am your host, Chris Puckett, fresh out of the shower and ready to get into the games. Uber, last week was spicy. Shroud X in North America caused a little bit of chaos. They are our reigning champions, but here in Europe, Finzi, who has returned for his 3rd month of subscription, is also returning as his 10th time as champion.
I mean, something like that, right?
They've been stacking it up. They've been stacking it up.
Fight Night 11. So these guys have been running it for quite a while. Expect to still see them be a dominant force. They're the kind of team that can play everything. We've seen that so far.
Only 9. Sorry, chat. Sorry, continue, Uber.
Close enough. I mean, we've been helping fund Virtus.pro's operations in both of the games that we cover here at Fight Night. So I'm fine with it. These guys deliver every time. So I wouldn't have it any other way.
Yes, love having them here. xCloud18, a first-time chatter, and you're here at the start of the show. Jake, this guy's smart.
He's locked in. He's here with me, ready to learn, ready to see how the best in the game do it. And in EU, I'm pretty interested to see the competition spicing up. We got Team1 taking on 0% here in the Challenger match. Team1, a lot of basically the whole former roster of LG coming in now, continuing to be at that. I would call them the favorites. However, their opponents have been completely reworked. It's a very different roster than we've seen from 0% in the past.
All right, so I know what I'm getting out of Naga. Tell me a little bit about the rest of this team. What excites you here, Jake?
I've been really impressed by Rajaro, and trust me, they have looked really strong from my perspective, playing that front line. I think Vanguards are like the unsung heroes right now in Rivals. It's just so critical that you're winning those trades in the front line, that you have like the swap flexibility to have a better comp. And I think Vanguard is the role under the most pressure there. I've also been impressed with Level 1 Crook, very stable in the back line, staying up. Going to be key, I think, especially in this meta.
On the other side of things, Mitch, we have a known challenger. It's 0% making their return to the stream, but we've got a fresh roster here. Break it down for me.
Yeah, look, a very different look. I mean, this has been Lion Pro's project in the past, sort of after he had that really short stint with Fnatic. They dipped their toes in Rivals, and we'll see them sort of return at a later time. He's now put together a bit of a different team around him. A bunch of players that we don't know a ton about, right? Number of UK individuals here, Oniro, Frostmountain, and Legacy, I'm going to call them. Again, from that UK, but Lion Pro obviously been a strategist player in basically every top FPS that he's played. He's represented his country at World Cups, for example. So expect to see him cobble together a pretty sick roster. But this Team1 team, for me, have always kind of felt like they're right up there in the top 3 in Europe.
Ready to fight on Fight Night.
They've been the team that's given the toughest tests to Virtus.pro, I think, time and time again. Although VP has consistently been ahead of the competition, they have always had Team1 nipping at their heels. These players definitely know that this is a winnable match for them if they can have like their best game, if they can catch VP on an off day. I mean, VP obviously have to be the heavy favorites with the level of dominance they've shown in the past in Europe, just kind of uncontested at number 1. But Rivals Fight Night is that place where every single week you're going to get another shot at the throne. You're going to get another shot at taking on the Kings.
Now, I just looked down and I noticed we're only at 200 viewers. The show just started, so we are going to remind you of these rosters as the party continues. But a shout out. We had 80% of the audience at the start of the show also as subscribers. You're putting to use your Prime. Big shout out to Unclear. 3 months, always answering the questions. If I don't know the answers, they track it down and they put it in the chat for us. Jake, we got Hexagrams, unfortunately, who is back again for week 11.
Yeah, we're gonna have to figure out how to get rid of that guy. We need to, send out the mods. Send out maybe a mutiny of the mod team has to be in order. We're gonna have to figure something out. This is some shipyard tactics to take down Hex.
It's not the guys like Barnacles, man. It's tough to get rid of him. We're gonna have to really use some elbow grease.
He is a tough one. He's a tough one.
These regulars. Welcome back, everybody. We're waiting for our players to get ready. I saw Line Pro was in the chat. Melio is in the chat. So they will be hearing what we say. Say nice things at the start of the day because Cooper-tastic is now the single highest healing per 10-minute character and player in Rivals Fight Night history, Jake. It's high honors, all earned by Cooper-tastic.
I believe that.
That is an impressive stat line, but you're going to need to do more to translate that into wins against a squad like VP. You can heal all you want, but in the end, you got to be able to put up kills. You got to be able to find frags, and especially with this more recent change to the ban pick system, with having a little bit more depth, more bans, more picks across the board, I think it's going to be interesting test for teams to dig deeper into their hero pools with, you know, additional heroes taken off the field. It's going to mean you're going to be forced to show more diversity if the other team wants to make you go there.
Yeah, I don't know how that's going to work, honestly. Like now, like with this experimental feature just put into the game, which we're not playing on today, by the way. We're still using the standard sort of 3-ban to protect, but being able to sort of target certain heroes, but only ban them from your opponent, so they're not global bans, essentially, it adds a bit of depth. Yeah, it does mean that like that hero is still available for you to potentially pick for your team. So still standard stuff here, though, Puckett. Straightforward 3-ban to protect.
Do we get rid of a Groot? Are they not Virtus Pro? 0%. What do you do, Line Pro, with the new roster? It's a Groot ban. Europe continues to hate the rooted man.
Pucket's like, oh, you guys don't need me. He's got the callouts. And a Human Torch first ban. That's kind of interesting, actually. Maybe this is just a comfort pick for 0%. And the Jeff Protect. We might have another Jeff Cap situation going on here. The Jeff Cap combo is so nasty. I feel like you kind of need to ban it right now if you're 0%, or it's might get protected.
Can you explain it? Because I haven't run into it in Diamond games recently.
No one is running you ever play this
any of my lobbies.
Unless you really understand the game on an advanced level, because it really requires synergy and teamwork. The Jeff not only really needs to understand the mechanics of the hero, because you're functionally a DPS on Jeff in this strategy, and then Cap is also needs to understand how to like play the off angles, look for picks, but not overextend. And splitting the team, I think, is always going to be an advanced strategy. Look at like other games in the hero shooter genre. The hardest comps to the play are the ones where you split up, because you still need to be coordinated with your allies.
Right.
As I say that, they don't ban Cap here. They go with the Loki ban. So you could protect Cap right now. And I'm a little bit worried for 0%, unless they're just going to take the mirror.
That might be a Crook respect ban. They know what he brings to the table on that character.
I think that Emma Frost Protect is pretty important, right? There's like a ton of mixes that you can bring alongside her. They 0% might still want to play Cap themselves. Obviously, like Magneto's still seen a lot of play. There's the Cap Protect though, so that composition is just so powerful. Team1 are also the kind of team that is going to push to play some of those more intricate setups here. So 0% likely just playing to a bit of an individual style here now, and a Morlock just getting taken out. Should the Star-Lord be an issue? We've seen him in some of those Jeff Cap combos. Pretty
Jeff Cap. What do you combo with the Jeff Cap?
I think I'm so excited, Jake. Is like, it kind of doesn't matter a ton for me. Like, you just need like, yeah, Psylocke's I think a popular duelist. Having some duelists who can also get in and play for that combo. Banning Magneto should help that as well. Like the bubble can be a powerful save when you're targeting somebody down on the flank with the Jeff Cap. The bubble could protect them. Gives you a really strong front line as well. But I think I'm curious to see actually which Vanguards. Maybe it will be the Emma Frost plus Cap. And then we have often seen 2 additional strategists played. So with all the strategists that have been banned out, maybe it's something like Mantis and Luna Snow to heal in the main group, because Jeff is not really a support in this comp. You really are focused on dealing damage and distracting the enemy from the off angle.
Working like the Bucky here with the Cap team up can be pretty potent. Doesn't benefit anymore from the Rocket Raccoon team up, but still very powerful to try and involve here. Just like that extra bit of mobility for the Bucky is kind of massive, considering he's already pretty zippy as it is. Work that in. I do think it will be Emma Frost and Cap front lines for both these sides, with Psylocke probably mixed in there to a fair degree.
Yeah, I think that's a very good call, especially with, for me, Bucky being one of the most realistic characters that can deal with the Jeff, because if you're able to like hook him or uppercut him out of the ground, you have the burst potential to actually turn and trade on the Jeff, who is notoriously difficult to lock down. So it's actually going to be the Invisible Woman, Luna Snow. Both teams, same read on the comp, same read on the meta. This is going to be, I think, a lot of the test of the flank fight. I think that's most likely where the action is going to break down with lower numbers.
Guys, I don't heal. Does Jeff and Luna still have the team up? Icy chill.
I don't think so this season.
No,
not sure, actually.
It's Luna.
Do we have any healers in the chat? Does anyone like to support or strategize?
No, I don't think so. I think it's Luna and Iron Fist still do have that team up. What is it?
Oh my, what?
That's pretty ridiculous.
Killed 3?
Okay.
Excuse me? What did he do? He insta-killed 3 players.
I don't know if we'll be able to get that scene back, but it looked like just a number of those crossbow bolts just hitting a close range there, and maybe even a dash through there. Nicely done. Team 1 kind of have that fight dragged out for a fairly extensive period before going in for the kill. Obviously, Team 1, by the way, you'll notice a couple of name changes here for them. Also, someone using katakana, which is super annoying if you don't read Japanese. So good luck figuring that one out. Oniro here, of course, is on the Winter Soldier, and again, really wants to try and make use of that mobility offered by being teamed up with the Cap here.
0% are working their way through. The question is, though, will their backline be able to sustain? See that immediate attack now on the Cap. Bucky showing a bit of presence, but Jeff is there supporting, and Cap's getting a lot of resource. Looking like a decent fight so far for Team 1. They're going to be the first ones to some ultimates.
The Jeff is Naga. For those wondering, he's just put his name in Japanese. That's his. That's how that reads. And should be a decent spit here. Gotta be careful though. Oh, gotta respect. Frost does come on in. Still with the spit out on Nama though. So secure that Lunar Snow. Fake gonna head upstairs here now, of course, as we've got a cracking impact in play for 0%. That's got to be respected. Team 1, of course, just want to extend this lead further, 60% and counting. Rujaro does get caught. One of the few things that can stop Cap in motion is going to be that Emma Frost, but no follow-up there damage-wise. Psionic Seduction, though, does get thrown in. This is going to tease Rujaro back towards the point, but trust me and Melio get there and lay down the deeps.
Love that positioning from Fate. Just as the ultimate ends, he manages to dash up, play the high ground, and then just keeps everybody heals up, right? Like if those executes come in for 0% and the Winter Soldier, that fight probably just explodes from there and it would be a flip. But because Luna Snow is in such a great position, they can't execute the tanks. The ultimate essentially goes to waste. Now you're desperation mode, gonna set up the strange TP one last fight, but you don't have any ultimates and you're going in to Trust Me, who does have that Emma Frost ult if they need it. This is gonna be a very difficult fight for 0%.
Yeah, like you mentioned, very little to work with here, Jake, and Trust Me's happy just to be a bit of an anchor on the point. Eventually, we'll have to give a little bit of room here until he comes back in with a Psionic Seduction that's mostly blocked out by Frost Mountain Shield. Melio taken down, Legacy able to find a first crucial pick-off in this fight. Rujaro cannot hang. Team 1 also really lacking a lot of those key ultimates outside of the Seduction that Trust Me used earlier that was mostly shut down. So they're going to have to concede the point here to 0% for a time.
It's nice. I mean, it was an awkward fight, but the fact that 0% win that without any ultimates means now they're coming up into this next fight. They've got Line Pro with the Invisible Woman ulti. They've got options. Naga, though, in the backline on this Jeff, right? Like, played to perfection. Just constantly drawing the attention of the defenders towards the back. That's just creating more opportunities for the rest of Team 1 to walk up and take space. Naga also very close to that Jeff ultimate, so you got to be careful. Over grouping here on 0% would be deadly, and the Invisible Woman ult could end up being vulnerable to that Jeff combo.
All right, just to double back as well, the Luna and Jeff team up is still present. So obviously Jeff benefits a lot from that. Here comes the dance of the butterfly now towards the backside of Team 1. But as an eat coming in.
Grabbed.
Yeah, that is big. And of course, the one teammate that was eaten up gets spat out, and everybody gets a lava bath. Come with me, says Naga, if you want to die. And now will be Team 1 in great position. Freedom charge ready for Rujaro. The rest of 0% should be chased off the point. And on these domination maps, in fact, not even just. So many of these, convergence, convoy maps. That's why Jeff is so desirable. Great team ups, of course, good flexibility, able to play those off angles, and just easy 3Ks like that.
Capult stalling a long time, but you need to find some kind of kills. Now you're down to on 0%. Seems to be the last gas. They're going to commit as well with this Vanguard ultimate, but I feel like they're throwing good money after bad here. The round is coming to a close. Team 1 still at full strength. Naga caught and stunned, but they don't have the follow-up damage. Emma Frost stalling the point is going to go down, and the desperation picks the touch. Still coming in here for 0%, but too little too late. Round 1 goes to Team 1.
Definitely felt like Legacy want to have a real crack at that. There's a belief that 0% could sort of take the round. It's obviously a Seduction that won't be available to them next time. Team 1 get off to a great start here, and again, they do give up the point briefly to 0%. Well, they are very comfortably able to move back in and take over.
Team 1 is such a trolling name. I love it. By the way, it took me this long to load up my game, hop in, and find out the team up abilities. But Icy Disco, Luna Snow infuses ice energy into Jeff the Land Shark, who could then tap into the icy energy to power up abilities at will. What does Jeff get? Well, Jeffrey gets a frozen spitball. Luna Snow infuses ice energy into Jeff the Land Shark, who can then tap into the icy energy to power up abilities at will, which does a lot more damage.
Yeah, I mean, that's obviously... So Luna Snow doesn't actually have an active part in that team up. It's just that she gives that over to Jeff. So you read the same text twice. But yeah, you got done by the compiling shaders, Bucket. We've all been there. Thank you, Dr. Awesomeness, for the 3 months of a subscription. Team 1 already looking like they're the team that will once again be putting Virtus Pro to the test. But remember, the first of 3 series, plenty of opportunity for 0% here, but so far it's not been quite enough.
I mean, Naga is doubling up, more than doubling up on the Jeff damage. That basically can't be allowed to happen. Getting Jeff gapped like this is a really rough place to be, because Jeff is a very important damage dealer, and Naga's also been alive so much. Isidore just out of position there, doing too much. Now Naga once again harassing from the flank. There's that frozen hit from Jeff, slowing everyone down. Cap coming in, and should just be an easy cleanup here for Team 1 in the mid fight.
Yeah, I mean, look, the frozen hit, of course, from that team up, making it impossible for people to actually run Jeff down, even if they have the bandwidth to turn around and address the flanking threat. It didn't help that there was a psionic seduction from the front line that Trust Me laid down. 0%. Caught in the exact wrong kind of sandwich. I gotta wonder, like, what happened there with Isidore in the front line? Clearly just took a face full of damage that couldn't be mitigated, but, you know, with the kind of composition they're running, you would think they'd be able to keep them topped. Luna is in the game, not banned out, and Invisible Woman ain't too shabby when it comes to that sustained game either.
Yeah, and they're trying to get and deal with the Jeff, but I love this positioning from Melio, coming in to assist on the flank fight, playing adaptively between dealing frontline damage and then sometimes coming to overwhelm the flank light, right? Like creating a 3v2 here, where now Team 1 dominating, pushing through, forcing out the enemy Jeff and Cap, and the backline looks vulnerable.
Oh, yeah. Team up there, Melio getting doubled up now, and in we go with the Dance of the Blood. Wow. They got both strategies ult. That is the jackpot if you're Team 1. They are chilling. It looks like as well there was an eat there from Naga. Not sure what really came of it. Melio ends up dropping, of course, after committing pretty heavily with that Psylocke ultimate, but 0% just used both their strategist ultimates to try and hang keep, but they're never even able to cap the point, and they weren't even able to sort of make any use of the player advantage. Now, Isidore, with that freedom charge comes out, Rajara is going to mirror it though. Now that Overshield will be given over to Fate, he was getting pressured down, and there's a pause here initiated. An interesting time to do it midway through the fight. And we were having this discussion in our XQC Invitational last week, is that people were calling for pauses, didn't realize you can now call them in-game by hitting escape and clicking on the menu. So glad Frost Mountain found it.
I mean, this fight looks really rough, though, already, right? Like, Team 1 have been meeting out their ults bit little by little, very patient, very controlled. They still have a few key tools left, and they've already lost their Jeff, so Naga is kind of free here to get aggressive and take the fight to Team 1. Looks like it's going to be ready up. Back into the fight. Let's see if Team 1 can bring this, or rather 0% can bring this back. Team 1 in a great spot. Good ults already.
Look at the map rests on this fight. Like, how much has been committed here by 0%, and Team 1 is striking it all off. Oh my goodness, they can actually save the invisible boundary for after that seduction came in. And now they're going to get shoved out. Not a whole lot you can do. Naga playing in the front line this time around, helping to try and drag down his opposite number on the Jeff, and Nama as well. Not much to do here for you 0%, but to move back, lick your wounds, and try and play for a big... It's Jeff?
Yeah, it's got to be, but I like this push at the spawn camp, ulting the spawn here. Even if you do fight in this position, you're not going to touch point, so 0% forced to split up, and that's going to be deeply punishing. Already 3 picks come in, 1 on point, but great awareness. They clean up absolutely everybody else. Just a matter of time here. Cap doesn't even look like he wants to touch, doesn't want to prolong this beatdown that Team 1 just delivered.
Yeah, absolutely dirty stuff there from Team 1. What we've come to expect from a roster of their caliber, and 0%, look, able to hang in a couple of fights. I think an Eldritch Monument, at least later in the round, able to start to build back into the game. But Bucket, the old economy that we saw from 0% there on that second round left a little bit to be desired.
How do you say this MVP's name? I don't speak Japanese.
Oh, no, it's Naga. It's Katakana.
We're just going to call him Naga. All right. Well done, Naga. Golden Boy dropping in with a 10 gifted. Thank you very much.
Huge.
Well, big fan, Alex. Big fan. When are we
do not look at the Jeff stats, chat.
Don't
look at the Jeff stats. Oh my goodness.
Frost Mountain and I have the same numbers. I'm a diamond.
That is, yep, that's pretty impressive. That's why this works. That's why this is remotely viable. 10 final hits, 3 deaths for Naga. That's just the direct translation for his name, so we don't have to guess. Yeah, just kind of put, and honestly, a little cheeky little 7k healing here. That's crazy.
Little 7.
Doubling up on Frost Mountains. Yo. Yeah, great example, I think, of the triple strategist comp with the Jeff and Luna team up.
All right, so why can't I play this in my games right now, Jake? What do I need? I need a
you need
captain?
a duo with a cap. You need a duo
You need
with a
chrono shields. That's what you need. So when you invariably throw by playing this comp,
bro.
you won't be affected.
Yo,
No,
I'm esports
that's
rich.
the new
We're
Rivals
good.
BM. The new Rivals BM is like, bro, just use your chrono shield, bro. Just use your chrono shield, bro.
Just chrono up, bro. You're good. Oh,
You
boy.
should go next. I got chronos.
Well, 0%. Interesting start here. Team1 putting them on their back. Isn't 0% supposed to be like our known challenger, or are we giving them a fresh start since this is a brand new lineup?
I mean,
Fresh start.
Jake, you've been through this mix.
ironically, right, like although Team1 is a new team name, this team is one that we've seen before many times, has looked extremely strong. 0%, although we've seen the team name before, they haven't been in this variation. They've, like, I think recently started to play together, so they have a lot less experience as a team, and I think it's showing, especially in this comp. I mean, like for a while, right, where the meta was solidly 2-2-2, I think it was a little bit easier from a flexibility perspective. Like you knew you were going to have your two duelists and your two vanguards and your two strategists, and it was just a little bit easier to stick with that and kind of know what to expect in a given game and in a given meta. Now there's a big question. It's like, you have a really good duelist player who's like insane on Hela, but do they know how to play Jeff? Like, you just need to understand the character. It's not going to be enough to just be like a great aimer. You really need to understand all these tech mechanics. So I think somebody like Naga is showcasing the flexibility and looks game winning right now. I feel like you need to just get out of this combo for Team 0%. Like, I don't think you can hang in this meta with Team 1.
Mitch, you and I got excited for the thickness at the same time. You see the Psylocke, you smash the Psylocke, kick her against the wall, and she is broken. It's about time we've had a Vanguard who can punish you that way. I know we got a bunch more characters coming through. Have you thought more about which X-person or other MCU character you would like to see added into Rivals?
Yeah, I do. I just want to see how they would make Cyclops work, honestly, because there's a couple of like continuous like beam-esque characters, but I want someone that has like a railgun-esque feel to them. You know what I mean?
Ooh.
So that would be kind of fun. Something that also is operating on like the longer range end of the spectrum, because obviously like Black Widow and Hawkeye are not really getting a lot of play. Something that feels like actually viable up there could be sick.
Trying to think. What would be the most railgunny character? Chat, help us out as we're jumping into game number 2. This is Midtown, Jake. This, of course, is going to be 0%'s pick. What kind of compositions do you want to roll on this bad boy? Something tight on the cart?
I will say, I think this map is going to drastically slow the pace of the game down. It's much more front to back defensive. There's not too many opportunities to flank and get behind. I mean, you can get creative and make it happen, but I think it's going to be a little bit more straightforward, a little bit more likely to be playing something like a 2-2-2 setup. Maybe we could see Hellas come out, and that might be a meta where 0% is more comfortable. I mean, although there was such a crazy beatdown on map 1 on Hell's Heaven, I feel that part of that is just the strat coming in from Team 1, the execution being so much stronger with the split comp. I think it's a little bit harder to gap as a team on that level when you're playing more front to back style with Hellas and Groots and Magnetos. Like it's a little bit more straightforward, and that could help 0%, because remember, this team hasn't been together as long. They're still going to open with the group ban though.
The fact that they're holding just one L really matches up with ZP, who's in chat right now. ZP, they branded themselves the same as you, but I see dubs coming your way. Will it be 3? Will it be enough to get into round 2, where $1,000 will be on the line in the EU Championship? That is coming up later tonight against Virtus Pro. Right now that we have our ban and protects, and Emma is in once again. Trust me, you're welcome. And then Naga gets his Jeffrey, so now we just got to protect a captain, right?
Yeah, they're letting it through again. I
Luna,
think
does that stop things?
Yeah, maybe without the Luna combo, it's not as potent, but I kind of think you might still do it. And they're going to ban Invisible Woman. That is interesting.
This also enables Star-Lord as well, that combo potentially. 0% probably have to spend their last ban on Adam Warlock, but obviously like removing the ability to cut line of sight is pretty important, and also two of the most powerful of those strategies ultimates. Yeah, Mr. Coop, thanks for the Prime sub, buddy. Appreciate it. Yeah, see, there's the Adam Warlock Protect. They are serious about trying to get a good Star-Lord in here.
Okay.
I also wonder about the Namor Hulk team up, not yet banned. I think it is actually kind of broken, even though we almost never see it. I feel like that's because we almost always ban that team up, because people really know how potent the Gamma team up. The Gamma Squid is a little bit OP, especially
Hulk never makes
the
it
Jeff.
through.
Yeah, Hulk never makes it through, but Last chance.
Yeah, okay. So no flyers whatsoever, 0%. Don't want to deal with it. But I just want to point out that, like, you know, Star-Lord is a real no-brainer here. Hella is still on the table. We see a lot of
Iron Man even good on this map. Like,
they're gonna get rid of they're gonna get rid of Hulk because they don't want to deal with Naga, or the Namor rather.
Oh,
excuse me.
they're gonna ban
Captain. Now I'm confused.
Okay, I mean,
defensive options up still.
yeah, I mean, I think there's like, you know, we got Magneto, Hulk, Naga could play Namor. We've got, I mean, there's like something to be said for like a straightforward Namor Hela comp here with Hulk and Magneto.
Emma and Psylocke probably still get mixed in as well.
Yeah. Psylocke, I'm interested to see how much Psylocke gets played. I think it's not unplayable by any means, but I think it's a tougher map for her since the ranges are a little bit longer. It's not quite so easy to play in the flanks and just like be tricky. And especially with Hela on, I think it's a little scary to play Psylocke where you can just get like stunned and two-tapped. Curious to see these teams' perspectives, though. We've seen some interesting comps. We've seen some teams. I remember we saw a team 3 fight first point previously, which looked kind of sick, like holding the spawn super aggro, playing like a brawling comp for that.
Jubilee was the answer from the chat. We need to give a big shout out to Golden Boy and Mr. Coop after the 10 gifted and the Prime. We are up to 200 subs over on Twitch. We're also live on YouTube and on Twitter. Drop a sub, a follow, whatever you want to do. It's Rivals Fight Night for the people.
Honestly, yeah, Jubilee would be kind of sick. I'd be down for that one. I forget about, oh God, there's just so many heroes and powers. I mean, the X-Men, bro, that place is like teeming with folks. Keep your suggestions coming in. Do you want to see Marvel Rivals next? We're going to jump into the game though. 0% on the attack to start with. Is on the Hulk here, especially with the cap taken away by Team 1, who are on that Namor Hulk team up. Look, both teams are obviously trying to leverage that, but definitely feels pretty good defensively to abuse that. We've got Cloak and daggers for both sides.
Hulk's getting pressured really hard. Has to find a way to get healed up. Cart's not rolling at all. Team 1 are doing a great job, and Melio wins the fight on the flank. So the prio of the Namor. Both teams really valuing this combo, but the attackers, I think, are a little bit disadvantaged just by the nature of the character. It's a little bit harder for them to break these chokeholds.
All right, this is... looks like it might take a little bit. We've already got a god of mischief online here for Crook. Nama as well, so plenty of action going on for those Lokis so far. 0% obviously having to really struggle to try and fight for that higher ground. Note that Rajaro is rotating in and taking aggro, and yeah, just the flank there. Legacy obviously finds that Psychic Spear. Pressure the soul down. Its damage that can't really be mitigated there. And there's a Horn of Proteus being thrown out by Naga. Unclear if that found any value either. We've got a God of Mischief active now. Eternal Bonds being used here. 0% definitely digging into the pocket here. Lion Pro pops that ultimate. 0% really want to get moving.
Yeah, Cloak and Dagger buying a lot of time here. Team 1 are still stalling the card out, although the fight seems to be slowly going against them. That was the copy to Cloak and Dagger again. Naga, though, fighting that kill pretty big. Could be the moment to start building in towards some stability here. You got to make it happen now. And that kill onto Fate really going to hurt. Without the Cloak and Dagger, very difficult to sustain now.
Yeah, no strategist ults either here for Team 1. They're just not in a position to have the staying power they need, most likely. So clear the monster spawn, clear the... Okay, wow, we're going for this. Trust me, Pop's ultimate, they're instantly shut down. Horde of Proteus, a lot of damage down, and it's pretty much impossible for Team 1 right now to contest. Great Psionic Seduction there, locks them up, but still no checkpoint just yet for 0%. Is it answer the butterfly that Frost Mountain has to respect? Generation Domain does get popped now. Horn of Proteus from the defense side. Nama gets caught out. Still contesting the card is Rajaro, but eventually he's going to be brought down.
And Team 1 looks like they're not going to be able to make this hold. They do still have the strange portal to tap in and out and keep this card contested. 1 kill from Melio, but it seems like it may not be enough. They're getting really aggressively attacked, but that spawn is so close. They're able to actually keep the contest through the portal, so really well positioned by the Strange, but in the end, you get it over the line. A lot of stall, though, on first point. As much as that felt like kind of a dominant fight for 0%, Team 1 was very scrappy with it, and they really did delay and run the clock down more than you would have expected.
Yeah, decent looks for Team 1 here, but got to give it a 0% eventually. Able to run the defenders down. Now, of course, we head into this next phase where 0% position pretty far forward of the statue. They don't really want to allow Team1 to filter out here and fill this space, and that's Frost Mountain just not getting ready for all of those deployables. Loki clones, Monstro spawns, it is all there, and it hits a lot harder than you otherwise would expect. Rajaro, Psychic Spear in that front line, big exchange there with Legacy now. There is a Sonic Seduction at the ready, should be required. Eternal Bond, got to be used to kick this off though by Line Pro. Isidore in Hulk Smash mode as well. So far, Team1 trying to play defensive, kind of back on this, but Melio gets caught out. Line Pro had to give him the slurp of a lifetime, and 0% in a 6 versus 4.
Bait with the ulti, stabilizing for the moment with the Cloak and Dagger, but you're up 2 for 0%. Seems like these kills are an inevitability, and they're going deep, aggressive with their own Cloak and Dagger ult. Massive tick damage on everyone. Naga falls as well. The cart's going to start rolling here, but 0%, they want even more. They want some of these last-second cleanup kills. Trust me, just going to die on the card here, looks like. Making the safe call here. Doesn't want to allow it to roll forward.
Buys a little bit of time. 0% able to snowball that previous fight fairly well. 2 first picks that really didn't come off the back of big ultimates necessarily. And they're going to open this one now with a Sonic Seduction. Straight away, Frost Mountain also in with the dance of the butterfly. And seduced as they were, Team1 couldn't do anything about the Psylocke damage coming their way. Vil, thank you very much for the subscription. There's a double down though off the Horn of Proteus. Oniro and Legacy out of the game. Half your front line and the lion's share of your damage in the Namor have been removed. And trust me, looks to capitalize.
You're losing a couple players in the back line. It's getting interesting. This 1v1 on card could be decisive. And I think the trade is just good enough here for Team1. Closer to their own spawns. Hulk is low, but he's going to be able to get healed up. And those early kills from Naga. I mean, if you didn't get 2 with that Horn of Proteus, that fight could have gone very differently. So it's a crucial fight for Team1. They stabilize for now. Still a minute 30 on the clock, but 0% still a ways away. They don't have any ultimates right now. They need to maybe farm those up.
Mitch, how the hell did Hulk just survive that? You watched the same thing I did, right?
Yeah, he got topped up, I think, by the Loki clones that had line of sight to Isidore. And then he obviously popped the barriers he walked on out. So it would have been huge, actually, if Team1 had been able to knock him into puny banner form. But was not to be. In he goes, gives him a bit of a clap now. Sonic Seduction available here for Rajaro. But crucially, Eternal Bond already popped in this fight. Now Rajaro goes for the Seduction. Hard to catch people in this cone. I think you might just try and deal with those diving his backline, use it more defensively, and take some pressure off Team1 for sure. Now, though, that Eternal Bond is going to expire. Horn of Proteus comes in, mostly avoided, though, by the defenders. Oniro already down. Trust me, holding onto this Hulk smack now, just in case that extra durability is required. Spoilers, it won't be. Team1 able to withstand 0% now. We're down below a minute.
It's solid layering of the C&D ult, and they're even going to delay this Hulk as long as possible. Oh, this is really painful, actually. This is running the clock. We could be in a last fight scenario.
Is it all about to switch to?
He's going to pop it, but does he get out of this?
Unclear. Walks away now in puny battle. That is devastating.
So well
that might be one of the worst daggers I've ever seen.
Yeah, that was really clean from them. And they're going to add insult to injury here, diving into the backline. They have the Hulk ulti. Trust me, unstoppable here, keeping a lot of the attention on himself, creating opportunities elsewhere to find kills. Loki's the first one to capitalize.
Line Pro gets in there. Trust me, does exactly what needed to be done there. Soaking up so much of the bandwidth of the attackers, and 0% after getting off to a great start. Making some good progress here, snowballing 2 consecutive fights, a ground to a hole, and it all starts with that 2 kill off the Horn of Proteus from Naga.
Some textbook stagger plays there. That's definitely that's Puckett, the advanced team plays that you will never ever see in a ranked game. But at this level, I'm coming to expect them more and more as people optimize the game, is stalling out that last enemy player, delaying the kill on them. And then just when the enemy shows up with their team, they think, okay, maybe we're going to save this guy and we're going to turn the fight around. Not only do you kill him, but then you instantly progress into a fight off of the objective. So even if you do go and touch for 0% here, it's damned if you do, damned if you don't. Your team will just get wiped. You'd be down 2 in the fight. Yeah, you might push card a meter or 2, but Team1 will just clean you up and then come back and make the defense. So they've really done that quite a few times before Team1, fighting off the objective in the overtime scenario on defense. And it's really crucial. It makes the game almost unwinnable if you're in that position.
I think the professional term is dick move when you keep one alive.
Yeah, it is a dick move, but it is.
Look, it's just business, baby. Nothing personal.
Yeah, nothing personal, honestly. It's that's kind of the rough part with the state changes. They can definitely sort of be used against you. And you're in puny banner form, you can try and get back into Hulk form, but they'll let you do that and then burst you down again. You want to try and run off the map if you can, but that was just a part of the map that's really hard to just find an environmental elimination on yourself. It's a nice way of putting it.
First hold was solid for the defense last time. See if 0% can match some of that success. Melio, he's been the one to crack open a lot of these stalemate situations.
All right, Melio, trying to stay out of harm's way here, but always getting that high ground can be tough for attackers on this map. For the time being, Team 1, especially with the loss of their side lock here, satisfied themselves with just sticking around. Oliver gets taken down. Not great. That's probably the most important target for 0%. Someone who can really deliver that sustained damage from a safe distance. And now, Nama gets exiled and then sent to the Shadow Realm in quick succession. The Team 1 have that high ground now, and they're on the move.
Do we give him the MVP now, or does Trust Me get it later?
Honestly, he's kind of goated. I just love it. He's always playing the mobile tank, so it's fun to watch. Trust me, like, this team in the past never really wanted to play like the double shield, the cringe setup. So I've always been a fan. You know, he was always on that Venom. You know, I mean, before it was cool.
Frostbound gets found out, caught in a potentially compromising scenario here. Has to back off from the pressure of that Hulk, and that's creating windows elsewhere. Team 1, though, struggling to really get the catches they're hoping for, trying to bridge the gap on some ultimates. Here's the Loki copy coming out immediately.
Oh, that's a big terror cape, actually. Nice blind comes in against 0%. You saw how important the Dagger Storm, by the way, is for healing. Trust me, jumping back in the direction of it. Team 1 got some pretty key ultimates online. Here they come. Horde of Proteus. Oh, they're going to get juiced into the line as part of it. It doesn't look like that combo quite goes off the way Team 1 wanted it to. And now they've lost Crook. Here comes the seduction from Legacy now. And that's 0% of a chance to let go of some of their powerful ultimates, but Lion Pro does get boomed out into next Tuesday. And Legacy also falls. Team 1, honestly, on balance of ultimates, weren't really favored to win there. Somehow they've been able to turn it around. And they'll probably have this checkpoint off the back of this.
Naga goes down. Ripping the ult now is, trust me, they need to clear out this Mega Hulk in the back line. They're going to grab him, smack him down to the floor, but he's still pretty tanky. Need a little bit more damage to actually knock him down and get that card cap. Strange TP also coming in, so 0% still have a shot at this.
All right, in comes Isidore once more. Monstro Spawn needs to be cleared. Very annoying for Hulk to have to take care of. Okay, regeneration domain active right now for 0%. They're very well topped up in the back line. It's only Legacy trading in the front who's taking any damage. Frost Mountain looking to try and come forward here, of course, moving over towards the Strange in hopes of flipping this in their favor. Unfortunately, not to be. Now they're down. One Hulk. Oliver really has to step up and deliver the lion's share of the. They'll pop Cocoon now. Eternal Bomb being popped by Fate. Rojaro has ult. So does Naga. So they can go for this potential combo again. Seduction into Horn of Proteus on the table.
They're waiting out the Cloak and Dagger ult too. Gonna have a bit of an advantage here. However, that was just the copy. The real Cloak and Dagger ult still available to come out, and they're gonna need it to try and stabilize through massive damage. Naga, though, still holding on to the Horn of Proteus, waiting for the Windows nuke. And yeah, burst it down. That's a huge kill from Frost Mountain. Shuts down the ultimate before it can even come in. Big stun connection there from Oniro. And time has started to run out here. 0% very close to making the hold. Now, the copy Cloak and Dagger ult, full commit here. Kind of your last chance for Team 1, committing your last bounty of resources.
Yeah, we're into the second full rotation of ultimates in the same fight, folks. That's why we're getting deja vu. You are correct. Oh, that's not good for Legacy, though. Back turned. Horn of Proteus being held onto for such a long time, but the Monstro Spawn here, look at it, off the top left shoulder. Really putting work in for Naga. It looks like Team 1 have been able to win this. I'll be honest, an absolute war of attrition, a slugfest there in front of that first checkpoint.
Yeah, great hold from 0%. Really ran the clock down. Oniro on the Iron Fist is going to have to go back and swap, which is going to be a little bit painful in terms of the rollout, right? I wonder if it's going to cost you a fight. You might be just forced to make the hold in the next choke point. Have to see how the defenders approach this. You have a slight ult advantage here for Loki if you want to go with a copy Cloak and Dagger and try to play it really aggressive, but it's kind of a risky move on defense where the attackers can always just fall back if they want to.
Hulk Smash now active for Trust Me.
Trust Me is getting nuked, man.
Yeah, he's really trying to double back, get out of this fight. Now really a big extension here to try and get coverage on this Eternal Bond. Again, they can benefit from that tick healing fine, so they're able to reposition now. Also, Dagger Storm, a lot of healing here to rely on. And Naga does get taken down. Oniro able to set up pretty well. I really feel like the Eternal Bond makes things so forgiving. You can position rather aggressively, still don't get punished, but here's a problem. It expires, and Melio dives into the backline. Found both duelists here, and they might have undone 0%.
It's a massive ulti from Fate. Just getting cleaned up on the card now. With a few powerful ultis, 0% need to get it together here for this defense. However, clock is relatively low. This is still a winnable scenario for 0%. This first fight is going to be the most difficult, though. This is where your ult disadvantage is really significant. And Melio wants to end it before it can even begin. Already into the flank, already into the back line. Cloak and Dagger ult already out though.
Pro gets that field down. Still being looked at though here by Rajaro. Melio needs to wait this out before a Dance of the Butterfly could be considered remotely threatening to 0%. But Lion Pro's been dealt with. That's another big healer off the table. No strategist ultimates to speak of now. It has feet. That's right. Horda Proteus drops in, but Frostmountain was able to find a big double off the back of that. And crucially, both strategists were dealt with. That's enough to put Team 1 in the dumpster for this fight.
The trades came in, man. Lion Pro was full aggro here, went straight to the card, got punished for it, but ultimately the follow-up was there, just a little bit late for 0%, but they make the hold. And now this is not an easy victory here for Team 1. As close as they are, they're coming down to a one-fight scenario with the poking that's going to take place. They need to try and build up a couple more of these ultimates. Fate would really love to get that Cloak and Dagger ultimate, but you're only at 58%. That's a bit of a long road with 30 seconds on the clock.
Not a lot to work with. We've seen Team 1, outside of those big powerful ultimates, have sometimes struggled to take these fights. They've got to deal with a god of mischief, so they're definitely unfavored in this situation. Let's see what they can make happen. Hulk smash here for Trust Me straight away. Trying to bait the stream, apparently. Trust Me taking too much damage now. Eternal Bond copied and applied over most of the field of battle. And Frostmountain on the road getting to the back line. This is beautiful stuff. Team 1, we've got nowhere to go, nothing to do. Now overtime comes in. They won't have the time to get a portal here from a strange. I just don't think that's an option. Melio will attempt it as you have to. The stall here, actually. The cocoon gave them an option, but Melio's too busy fiddling around with his magic. Can't get the rest of the team on that point. 0%. Keep it interesting in the series.
They do call him the Magic Fiddler. 1-1, 0% gets their map pick. Jake, are you impressed?
I thought they played really well. The C&D Loki combo is really interesting. I mean, there's so much survivability even without ultimates, right? Like it can really get into these like crazy levels of wars of attrition where the fights go super, super long. But I was impressed, you know. I think honestly, Oniro had a lot of winning moments there, getting some key picks in those team fights. Same for Frostmountain, clutching out in some scenarios that looked like the fight was starting to turn against them. So 0% hang in there and evening up the series, showing that Team 1, this won't be an easy one for them.
Mitch, I was hyping up Trust Me on the other side. You see Isidore is going to get MVP from the game. 14 final blows to go with their 17,000 damage and 44k damage blocked. Not a bad game for your main tank.
It's actually insane. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that he only dies 3 times. You know, you mentioned it earlier on. It's like, how did the Hulk survive there? Isidore, clearly a really good idea of like the ins and outs of like being that hypermobile sort of damage sponge tank player. So really impressed with what we saw there. This is important data, I think, for Team 1 to go on with and say, okay, we maybe need to consider like trying to play our cap here and not get set in a sort of a Loki mirror that doesn't really favor us too much here, because 0% beat them in the most honest way possible. It's just really solid Marvel rivals from them, where it just turned out their Hulk took over the game.
And you were the one who decided no cap. So interesting turn of events there, as Zero is going to get the game win for game 2. We're going into a game 3. This will be a Team 1 pick. As we revisit that game, though, Jake, what were the star moments for you? Who are the star players so far?
I thought Frostmountain was making a great case for himself with that clutch kill. Like there was a fight that was going Team 1's way, like on the objective at the final cap with about a minute left on the clock on attack. Looked like the game was just done. And then Frostmountain comes up with those 2 pickoffs. If he doesn't find those, game is over. Team 1 are up 2-0 and they're on the verge of going on to the money match. So clutch plays like that from Frostmountain, I think are going to need to be key going into the rest of the series. However, I'm a little worried because Control was such an incredible beatdown for Team 1. It's like, okay, you just take it back to Control. You need to have an answer for that for 0%. I think the first step is do not give up the Cap Jeff combo on Control.
Yep.
But even outside of that, I think Team 1 maybe at their strongest in that game mode.
Well, domination race towards a 1-3 situation. Remember, this is our first of 2 matches in U, and we also have 2 matches from North America. It's Rivals Fight Night. Hulks are in action, and they're earning MVPs. 3 deaths, 6 deaths. These 2 are freaks.
Cooking. Honestly, look, I mean, Hulk does a whole lot here. There's like a bunch of reasons why the team up with Namor is a big part of that. So when you've got maps that have high ground or have those longer sight lines where Namor can set up and maybe like answer any flank pressure, he's great. Hulk on his own obviously is really important here. The fact that he, you know, has a shielding ability that feeds into his ult charge, on destruction is very, very powerful, because of course, the Hulk smash just lets him do what he has already been doing but with even more impunity, right? Go even more aggressive and be able to lock someone down out of the game, kind of like we see Emma Frost be able to do, albeit for a shorter time. So really powerful here when you've got high ground to work with. You've got a lot of movement that needs to be made here between up and down like there from Isidore. So I think the 0% seemed like a great Hulk team, one that's got to be respected now. And this Team1 team, I think they've been put on notice. They're going to need to dig a little deeper.
The seduction into the punch is a fantastic combo. If only we could see the Thing throw some haymakers in the mix. Triple Vanguards, thing of the past. That was a 1.5 season thing. We're into season 2 and we got a map 3 loading up. Let's go to Burn It, T'Challa. Another, is this domination, Mitch? Did I get it right?
Yep, you got it right.
Nailed it. Let's get into it.
I wonder if like Hela comes out at all. I mean, I feel like it's just been untouched so far, which is pretty surprising to me. I think Burn It T'Challa is a pretty strong map if you want to play that slower style. However, maybe the vulnerability for Hela is just too great to these like super over aggressive flanking setups, whether it's the Hulk team up with the Namor, whether it's the Jeff Cap, maybe you're just getting swarmed on Hela. Maybe that's why teams are staying away from it. But we've seen it come out a lot in the past on Burn It T'Challa. We'll see if that's maybe just an artifact of the old meta, or things have actually changed.
Jake, I have great news. Do you like great news?
Yeah, I love news. Especially when
did you know right now we have friends at Intel?
Oh,
it's
really?
true. Yeah, and our friends at Intel are hooking up the fans at home. All they got to do is go over to rivalsfightnight.com. If you do so, Intel is doing a giveaway with a brand new Intel Core Ultra 9 285K CPU and premium tickets. That's right, premium tickets to DreamHack Dallas. I'm heading there next week. One lucky person will win a new CPU. 10 others will get premium tickets to DreamHack Dallas. All you have to do, head over to rivalsfightnight.com to enter. It's simple as that. Dope stuff. Thank you, Intel.
I'm psyched. I'll be there in Dallas as well. Be hanging out at DreamHack, so come say hi if you get down there, especially if you're able to win yourself some premium tickets. I obviously go to the website and there's probably a thing to sign up for. There's might be an extra step there, but it is that easy. So yeah, big shout out to Intel partnering with us. Obviously awesome giveaway. They've obviously been, in the engine room of Rivals Fight Night since its inception. So it's really cool to be able to give back to you guys who give so much to us, including your Prime subs if you have.
Yes, all of your Prime subs. If you have a castle, we would like your crown. Ladies and gentlemen, shout out to Intel. And Intel reminder, I will be on site at DreamHack. Uber's going to be on site at DreamHack. Jake, are you going to be on site at DreamHack?
I'm not going to be a DreamHack.
That's right.
Maybe
Jake is available to work your Intel booth at DreamHack. Sign them now. We are jumping into a game number 3 with some bans and protection. They have already been, frequently getting rid of the group. We haven't seen a torch, and I don't expect to see it from Europe tonight.
Can we Bucky here? That might be like a chance to bring it back in. 0% tried it on Hell's Heaven. I don't think it was great. Obviously, the Cap team up can be fairly compelling, giving Bucky another option to reposition. Another button to press is always fun, but yeah, expect these first 2 bans to go as expected. And obviously Warrior Falls, for example, is the map for Jeff, so expect to see him be pretty prolific here. It's got to be a protect for Team1.
We love Jeff. Last time they got rid of the Luna, they'll do the same thing without a Luna. 0% looked pretty comfortable on heals.
For Team1 though, I'm thinking about last map, and they protected the Adam Warlock and then didn't use it.
Yep.
And they also banned the Cap, which to me those look kind of weird right now. They are going to get rid of the Hulk, so that's going to be a pretty significant change up from the last map. But I'm curious to see if they want to bring Cap back. I mean, they have the option to. I don't see why they wouldn't, because of how dominant that first game in the series was. And Naga looked great on the Jeff. The combo with Cap was immaculate, and 0% got kind of smoked. 0% are tempting them to do it though. They had the chance to ban it out if they wanted to, and there won't be the Luna team up, but it's still a threat.
I think Nightbot just Nightbotted itself. Ridiculous stuff is happening here on Rivals Fight Night. Once again, it's rivalsfightnight.com. It's pretty simple stuff. In the meantime, we do see the Mags protection, and on the other side, they'll make sure that Captain makes it through. You want to say this one for me, Mitch?
Yeah, Grass auf Steifer.
I knew it was Grass auf Steifer.
Thanks for the Prime. Thank you very much.
Much appreciated. Even in Germany, we have Rivals Fight Night.
Yes.
Global event, baby, for the people around the world.
Taking over the world. Why doesn't T1 have a name yet? Well, they were formerly known as Luminosity Europe. That family partnership ended, and now they're Team1. And you could put your name in front of their logo for a few $1,000s, I bet, each week.
Okay, that's honestly pretty good.
It's a good deal.
Yeah.
We did it for free with Team One. Blaney, what's up?
Jake, pay their salaries.
Jake, there's no Hellas for you, bro. I'm sorry.
Yeah, they banned it out. Well, at least
tonight.
Hella's getting some respect in the ban phase. I do think Brennan T'Challa is one of the better Hella maps in the game. So maybe the Hella's out of the meta overall. You don't want it to be in the game. You don't want her presence, and it's Brennan T'Challa. So you just say, you know what, we're just going to ban it. Safety. Don't want to have to deal with that if it ends up being a problem for us. But I mean, 0% call the bluff, man. They're the ones that protect Cap this time. That's kind of wild, given how game one went. That is a huge surprise to me. But they're going to double down it. And it says to me that they want to play the Cap Jeff. I guess they just think maybe they didn't execute well on game one, but it felt like a little bit more than a tiny execution gap on game one.
I think it might be that
any of these games, they are available on youtube.com. Shout out to our subscribers on Twitch, Boof and Blunts. It's Ro on the mic. You have Uber shouts alongside Jake.
Very much. The Nick Zero, thank you for the Prime sub. Yeah, I mean, maybe 0% just want the Cap was kind of what I wondered. Like, Isidore obviously, clearly wants to play those more brawly based Vanguards. They might not actually think to pair it up with the Jeff. So Oniro actually is going to be on the Star-Lord, though. That is, we do not have a Adam Warlock pair up with, though. It's not the most uncommon thing, but obviously a little less potent as he could be.
I do think with Magneto out of the meta, Star-Lord could be a little bit stronger, right? Like, can force a strategist ultimate, not just countered by Magneto ultimate as it was when Star-Lord was really at the peak of its meta. Isidore into the back line, taking some attention, but already getting poked pretty hard. Oniro, though, wins the fight, damaging on a Trust Me.
Honestly impressive. That's a blaster barrage kill. They're playing this without the Magneto, obviously really helps someone like Star-Lord, be able to do that damage for basically free. However, frontline crumbling a little bit. Actually, Nama the one getting picked off, so no Loki to work with here, but T1 are taking their sweet time. Big Cheese, thank you very much for the sub. They've got to regroup here. It looks like the Bucky's back on the table.
Yeah, let's see how Naga gets in. I mean, the hooks could potentially always be a big problem. Cap, though, maybe one of the harder Vanguards to follow up on when pulled in. They're being harassed from all sides, trying to come up and touch this point. 0% really surrounding everyone. Great defensive positioning, posturing here at the back of the point, keeping everyone stable and healthy.
He's a little pushing up. Ever a nuisance here. Problem for Melio, who doesn't get any help. Somehow it seems like Crook doesn't have the bandwidth to turn there. We just get some more healing back onto the Psylocke, and now Team 1 lacking a key damage dealer. Winter Soldier, though, someone I'm going to keep my eye on here for Team 1. Of course, they have the team up. Invisible Boundary already getting thrown down, but done so defensively. 0% have one of their own. Lion Pro more than happy to have the later one, and a second one thrown down. Legacy hoping to tease some people out of this invisible zone, but Team 1 respect that seduction allowed to come through. So we had 4 invisible boundaries in one fight. That's Marvel Rivals for you folks. Doesn't get any better than that. Now, though, Rejuvenation Domain has to be popped here for Team 1. They've got both their duelist ultimates available, and it's going to be a Kraken impact first. Lion Pro's down, so the resets are going to start coming in. Freedom charge. Popped here by Isidore, probably for the extra overshield, but that doesn't seem to be stopping Naga.
Yeah, the threat of these execute resets is massive, especially with the Loki clones giving that as well, and everyone is going to be wiped here.
Oh, they did it.
Getting the massive cleanup.
They did the little team up fist bump.
The fact that you cap there with 86% for 0% means Team 1 actually, even if they do lose the flood, they're going to get probably a Strange Portal retake option. So it's actually crucial that it goes off as quickly as it did for Team 1. That really does give them much better staying power and hope in this round. And 0% also committed everything to that fight. Team 1 still waiting with a couple ultimates. That cap ult is going to be incredibly powerful. Super hard to fight into that when you don't have ultis.
Absolutely. Big shout out to Gamers Last Resort. Thanks for the support. As Naga getting choke slammed early, but the healing is good. Contact lane's even thrown up for him there. The Guardian Shield helping heal him up, but eventually he'll be brought down. Melio, though, who has been instrumental in this game for Team 1, is able to slip in there towards that backside. And now you can see 0% are completely split. This will be dragged out a little. Legacy realizes that, so takes a nosedive off the falls. And 0% look for that reset.
Still, it's a long road to that ultimate charge. 0% don't quite have anything yet. They should be getting this Loki ult before anything really pops off too crazy. But Team 1 have the significant support ult advantage here, 2-1. So in a long fight, if they're able to trade these ultimates down, it's going to be looking very good for them.
All right. Backstorm already used. Trust me, just harrying for the time being. But 0% have been allowed to wrap here towards this right side. Set up a little bit of a staging ground. Isidore, you can see he's gone upstairs. Presumably to dig out any of those longer range players. Maybe trying to find, yep, Fate. Get on towards those vanguards here. You've got to be careful. The cap's a problem. And this does draw out the invisible boundary from Team 1, but they're about to get even. Here comes the seduction now. And a crucial silence there. Coming in on towards the Star-Lord. Trust me, just going to draw them forward. And now there's going to be another invisible boundary for Team 1. They've got into the lead now, and 0%. They're struggling.
That should be the round here. They're looking for these cleanup kills. Last to touch now. Cap is alive behind, is going to have to touch point, but pretty low already. And yeah, you're immediately on that for Melio. Knows that the touch is coming in. You have the ulti for Cap. He's trying to stay alive. He's so low. Getting a bit of heals now from the high ground. Invisible boundary, though. Going to keep him up. Still some fight left in 0%. But it's so difficult. They're being focused by. They just need to live through with this invisible boundary. But the hard focus is enough to take down Line Pro.
That's the butterfly. Everybody just converging around that Guardian shield. It's such a dirty little counter to what Psylocke can do here. But Frostmadden is able to get rid of Fate. Here comes Isidore now. Bit of a problem. Freedom charge for Team 1, but they've only got 3 players left to work with. And this needs to be a big dance to the butterfly from Melio. Big ask. That is a lot to try and draw out of them. Pikachu, thank you very much for the prime. His legacy swinging for the fence now, trying to shove in the direction of this Team 1 squad. But Melio has been dishing the damage. Beautifully done. And what a recovery. A little bit of whiplash for me, I'm not going to lie. But Isidore, who kept 0% in this round, eventually is going to fall. There is a Doctor Strange portal in play, though. However, it looks like drips and drabs only for 0%. Not getting out with enough numbers. Definitely no ultimates to leverage in this engagement. And now Melio just waiting for the opportunity to emerge, find extra damage on the Stranger's direction. And Oniro's shield is not omnidirectional, unfortunately. Warrior falls. Hard fought, but goes the way of Team 1.
Yeah, Team 1 with the staying power. Rajara with that ultimate, bringing it back. And like you mentioned, I mean, Melio continuing to pump damage down. I think 3 to 6 there was a really rough fight. But with the ultimate from Cap, right, stabilizing things for just a little bit, Melio and Cap are able to get the damage in and actually find those kills, turn the fight around. Trust me, big damage. Wow, like really taking over the lobby right now. That's a crazy stat line right there on Emma Frost.
Numbers-wise, kind of insane. What Trust Me is just popping off in that previous game. Honestly, if you're up against a Cap composition, the Emma Frost is probably the one you really want to be at full effectiveness. The only one that realistically has the stopping power to at least find windows where Cap can be punished.
I interrupt this conversation to do a sponsor plug. Hey, Puckett, how do you rank Rivals next to all the OG MLG shooters? Right up there with Halo 2, Halo 3 for me. That's TJF, baby. I say Rivals, top 5 game for me that I've worked on. It's been fun.
You grind it. I see you, bro. Every time I'm in Steam, you know, maybe firing him some Rivals. Paquito is there in ranks. He's in the trenches. He's grinding. That's passion.
Damn, you're really calling him a trenchy out here, just in front of everybody, dog.
I spend my money. I don't go up. I don't go down, baby.
He's stacked with the chrono shields, bro. He's rich.
Oh, buddy. Rajaro starting to swing here. Maybe the pressure on the back line there for 0%. Plus those invisible boundaries are going to be a consistent factor in this game with both Loki and Invisible Woman in play. Lion Pro just can't catch a break, and that's the plan here, of course. Rajaro wants to make sure that he sticks to that Invisible Woman. It makes it impossible for her to have an impact on these fights. Strong start.
And Oniro's been pretty quiet on the Star-Lord since that opening pick of round 1. Naga's had, I think, quite a few more decisive moments, opening picks, key trades, and that ultimate, of course, being able to get the resets. Now you're coming in on this next fight. You don't have any defensive ultis for 0%. You have the Cap ult that could keep you alive, but you don't have that key strategist counter. And yeah, immediate aggression here from Melia forces out that Cap ult. Rajaro, though, Kinkin is out in response, got killed.
Rajaro dealt with here. That freedom charge is so effective. Look at the overshield the 0% have. Basically unfightable for Team 1. In fact, tried to spend some time inside those Loki domains, but was eventually forced out of them and taken down. It was good to see 0% break back into the game at a relatively early stage, but Team 1 are 1/3 of the way to their goal.
That's kind of a rare misstep from Rajaro, not able to get the ultimate off there. Gets heavily punished. I think if they had that Cap ult, they would have been able to out-sustain into that. And now they're on the retake, 0%. I would say in a great position with few ultimates to bring to bear in this next fight. Frostman thinking about overloading on that flank, but everyone from Team 1 is here up the front line, following Rajaro in with the charge.
And we dropped. Still a few seconds of freedom charge left. Team 1 topped up and they need it because their Bucky's under pressure. Naga able to deal with Lion Pro though as a cracking impact here. He's able to play extra aggressive because of that Cap ultimate. And so in he goes. Legacy drop. That's going to be yet another resetter. We spotted the Star-Lord in the background, but Naga says, no, probably not worth trying to go for that kill until the Star-Lord's got no choice but to fight and die on the point.
Great play there behind the Cap ult. Naga following up with the Kraken impact, getting the cleanups, and they're still sitting on that double support ult combo. So Team1 have everything they need for stability's sake here. Just need to be a little bit cautious about getting caught around corners, getting pulled in difficult objective positions. 0% on the retake. Gonna open with the Emma Frost ultimate.
Oh, that's a nice little bionic arm. However, the peasants will be forced to kneel as the psionic seduction is drawn out of 0%. Nama also with an invisible boundary. Team1 though got plenty of those ultimates. That is a dirty force physics, man. That was sick. Nama had nowhere to go. Fate able to follow up and actually find the elimination themselves. Yeah, there is how you would not believe how many invisible boundaries this baby can fit in it.
Back up. Hold on. He needs it. If he gets this huge, I think Melio's going to be there in time to stop the Cap.
Oh,
that's actually
Blaster Barrage would have been great, but that Guardian Shield kind of ruined Oniro's day.
Yeah, and you do still have Kraken impact as well as the Dance of the Butterfly here for Team1. They're trying to bait out some of the defensive ultimates. Cap comes first. They're surviving it now with the regeneration domain. No defensives quite yet available for Team1. But the 2-at-1 Kraken impact plus Dance of the Butterfly is enough to find the opener.
You see just how good Winter Soldier can be in situations like this. And we go trying to get a max purchase there. So the odds of resets are highest. That does time out though. So Naga, no more Kraken impacts available. But that Galactic Legend really doesn't get the value that Oniro was looking for there. There's enough healing for Team1 that they're able to survive that engagement. And now a celebratory freedom charge for Rajaro. It seems like when it comes to domination, Team1 are the team to beat.
Yeah, they're so masterful on this game mode. That being said, they're going to have to win now. 0% is going to take them to a different map, going to force something different out of them. I guess you could think we're going to go to game 5 and play domination again, but I don't think you want to let things get that close against this 0% squad.
That was fun, ladies and gentlemen. And we have another Vanguard MVP. Trust me, answering back. Pretty impressive stuff on domination. What is the difference for Rajaro and Trust Me when it comes to this game mode versus trying to push an objective?
Well, the thing is that like you're fighting over one location most of the time, right? Whereas on like, Convergence and Convoy modes, the actual surroundings of the fight sort of change. So when you're in one spot, like flanking is extra important. You basically have this 1-2 combo of Trust Me just trying to hold a front line and getting very charged up in terms of like, his damage output in doing so. Whereas Rajaro just goes and hits their backline very, very hard and just flanks them constantly. I also think the Winter Soldier being able to play alongside Emma Frost makes it extra lethal for any tank to try and challenge her, because Emma's great in that matchup. You can lock them down. And also, while she's busy like kicking someone, Winter Soldier's got bionic arm. You can knock him up, of course. There's like so many ways you can punish tanks as Winter Soldier. So that little 1-2 combo I think is really important. But yeah, man, just sick coordination overall here by Team1.
Yeah, there's a couple moments there where I thought Oniro was going to get it over the line with the Star-Lord ulti, but just great care from the Team1 strategist, like really saving Naga, I think, crucially in one of those fights. Naga on Winter Soldier with these Kraken impacts. I mean, we've seen how potent this combo is at the highest level. When the team focus fire is on point, when you're synergizing and hitting down these targets together, that execution threshold is massive. And some of these opening picks are just like game defining.
Looking at the numbers, 14,000 damage on Oniro. On the other side, Melio, 1366, had 12 more final blows. One team was able to finish in these team fights, guys.
Yeah, I think that's really important. Obviously, we saw a couple of situations where Team1 are just using their Guardian Shield really well. There's a couple of duelist ultimates where there aren't strategist ultimates for Team1 to just like nullify them, and they've got to get a bit creative. And often it's like, playing around the Guardian Shield is really important, because the Guardian Shield does not care how many people are around it. It's going to give that same healing per second to them. And Invisible Woman's like her standard shot comes out and back from her, right? So if you combine those and everyone's kind of clumped up, you can actually get a disgusting amount of healing throughput from her, where otherwise maybe you'd look to, Lunasona do that for you. So I think Team1 really mindful of that. Fate very, very good at just, like probably barking out those orders and setting them up, to sort of play off that. And this here, like, good example. Look at that. Guardian Shield straight away. Oniro cannot... Normally, the Blaster Barrage is pretty good for you in that 1 versus 1, but Melio just has backup from across the map.
Incredible support from the strategist, and we have a 1-game advantage. It's going to be Team1 on match point when we come back. Shout out to production. You earned this P-break. Ignore that text from your girlfriend. Games are on. Welcome back. It's Rivals Fight Night. This is round 1 of 4. Welcome to Team 1 versus 0%. The dance of the butterflies. With a whale!
I mean, it has feet also, by the way. I just want to, like, it's a land whale.
Can we take a look at that again?
Have you ever seen a whale's feet?
Or are they just like flipper clubs?
I mean, listen, I've looked for whale feet, all right?
We've been Googling.
It ain't out there. I got directed somehow to OnlyFans. I did not end up where I thought I would. So, yeah, look, I don't.
Whale feet
ain't gonna fly. Dice ain't gonna fly.
And that's why Uber's bank account has been drained. But we're jumping into
it's
a game.
It's crazy, bro. They cleared my search history. I don't know what happened. It's gone.
It's so weird. It's so wild. No, ignore that subpoena. It's fine. We're going to the path. It's going to be a party, Jake, because I have a feeling that Zero is going to win their map pick again. Why? Because it's not domination. The path could cause similar problems that we saw back on Midtown. A lot of room in the sky, some really tough corners here as well.
I will say Midtown was close. It wasn't an easy win for them. They're going to need to put up another solid performance. And I wonder for T1, are you going to throw another ban at Hulk? Are you going to get rid of that Namor team up, which was a bit of a problem for you? I mean, while Naga played well, I think it was clear that the Hulk strat overall was a little bit more comfortable for 0%.
I think they should, for sure. I think the Hulk ban, which you've seen them already mix in over even on the first map, right? Before we sort of thought they had much data on it. Obviously, these guys probably screamed a couple of times, so I have an idea. Take that out. This is the kind of map where Namor is obviously really good, but you know, we've seen teams go for a lot of Human Torch here. Flyers in general could be quite potent. We've seen Iron Fist also busted out on this map. Emma Frost should still be at the forefront of your minds, I think, is just one of the premier options for, you know, that like pseudo frontliner here. And I think we're going to keep seeing group bans, guys. I'm going to keep it real with you. I'm going to keep it a stack.
I mean, this is maybe the best group map in the game too, so you really need to ban it here if you don't want to play it.
While we're waiting, a quick reminder, go to rivalsfightnight.com, enter our Intel giveaway. We're giving away 10 passes to DreamHack. I'm talking the good stuff, as well as a fantastic Intel Core Ultra 9 285K CPU. That's 285K, right, Mitch? I'm a mathematician.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know anything about computers, but big numbers go burr. And
I like
that number is crazy big, bro.
Thousand. All right, here we go. The path is loading up. The band should be loading up. Our players, do you need longer to take your bathroom break?
No, the shaders
going
are
on
just
from game 3 to 4,
fine, bro. You know how it is, man.
Shaders. Compile the shaders faster. The children, they yearn for the shaders.
The shade. Okay, I asked you guys earlier. Never mind. We'll get back to that.
I'm sure it was a really important question, though.
Final one, because we know it's going to be a Groot and then a Torch. Okay, how would Ant-Man work in the game?
What if Ant-Man is like fighting his own little battle? You know, you have like the two Ant-Mans are like micro.
Shrinks
and they're
you
like
down.
Fighting. They're like 1v1ing in like the tiny corner, and Hulk steps on one of them on accident, you know?
The health packs are the objective they fight for. And if your team controls it, it gives you extra healing. Do you know what I mean? But you have to fight.
Yeah. The Ant-Men are just 1v1ing in the corner of the map, slipping around.
Okay, and then how would Ant-Man face off against 1 million ants from Rick and Morty?
He'd go big and just crush him.
Yeah,
Easy mode. Easy
get
mode.
bigger.
Simple answers. That's why I'm here.
Ant-Man can also be man and less ant. You know what I'm saying? I would just drop the dookie on those ants and then get off my life. You know what I'm saying? Oh, look at the Luna Protect here, by the way. Little subject change for you.
Just
a log
and leave. Is that what we're doing here? All right. Luna and then the Hulkster makes it through. So now are you forced to ban Namor? Do you want Namor for Naga on Team 1?
I think they should just ban Namor. I'm not sure Hulk is really playable without the team up. Likewise, though, 0% ban out the Jeff, so they don't want to deal with that Luna team up.
You did get MVP on the Hulk, which could be just dumb kid math here, but yeah, Namor's
no. I think honestly, like trying to protect Hulk it's the best thing that we've seen from 0% this series, or at least the one thing I think that pound for pound had them standing out in a favorable comparison against Team 1. So.
Team 1, though, they get the Loki Luna, which I think their strategists are super comfortable on. And honestly, strategists have been the strength for Team 1. They've been really stable, having great games across the board here. And they've got what they want in terms of that backline stability here for Yggdrasil Path. That's crucially important to be able to sustain and make these defensive holds. A lot of these fights really do need to be super clean for the attackers to get over the line.
These last bends are really important. So Line Pro is trying to get his invisible woman, which is fine, but this is where we start thinking about Adam Warlock. Yeah, and sort of dealing with that. Also, like Iron Man's still available. Like there's an option for the Flyer. Hela is still there. Cap is still in the mix as well. You might see that Team1 just prefer to play Cap and not the Hulk here.
Iron Man ban. They want no.
I wouldn't be
Flyer
shocked
business.
to see the Cap ban either, though. I think Cap ban can make a bit of sense here if you wanted to not deal with the Bucky and go a different direction. It's going to be the Hela though.
Right.
Also, threat of Yggdrasil path Hela is always real. I mean, I think Hela can always kind of like pop off and make plays and hit some nasty flanks on this map. But you're free to play.
Want you to take your sunnies off, Bucket?
I don't know. People love my baby blues, but they don't understand how migraines work in bright lights.
Oh yeah, facts.
Back on, cowboy. Here we go. It is map number 4. We're going to the path. Yggdrasil has always been a fun party. Some of the best highlights go to the very end. Others, well, sometimes teams don't get around the first corner. Mitch, do we get to a game 5? Is it time?
I think this is a 3-1. I think this is a 3-1 for Team 1. Yeah. I just have a feeling. The way that this is played out, I think the pick of there's just so much on the table still that can be abused. I feel like pound for pound. I love my boy Lion Pro, by the way. Evo, you're the GOAT. All right, don't get me wrong. But Team 1 have looked to be pretty scary. Thank you so much, Naga, for approximately changing your name. I don't really understand the tag before it. What is it, like a Billy reference? Okay.
I can't help you there. What I can help you with is if you're looking for a railgun, Havoc is a fantastic character who cannot control where his blast goes. Sound familiar, Mitch?
I played the 5th, sir. It's going to be the Winter Soldier here for Naga, though, as we kind of expected. So the team up active with the Cap. This is what I thought. The Team 1 just didn't really want to match those Hulks, Jake, but I think they're like the Cap play's been really good. Rajara obviously more supportively inclined, and helps, of course, that Freedom Charge gives that overshield out like an extra strategist ultimate.
I will say I do think the Cap ult is so much better than the Hulk ult because the ability of it to affect your whole team when you brawl together in these types of comps is really valuable. So Isidore has the work cut out from here on the Hulk, has to really show a lot of presence, and Naga doing a great job here pumping damage in the front line. Already finds the first pick onto Legacy. They're looking for more.
I want to point out here that Tainted Voltage is actually a really relevant ability. You notice that Naga is trying to clip the Iron Man with it when possible. Frost Mountain will get grounded by that ability. It'd be very vulnerable to like a bionic arm and an easy pickoff. So especially in parts of the map like this where the Iron Man is playing so close to the ground, there's a lot of opportunities to snipe him out. But he is empowered by the team up with Hulk.
Region domain forced out of Crook. There's an opportunity here, especially with almost Dance of the Butterfly being available for this fight. Rajaro taking a lot of pressure in the front line, holding it for the moment. Luna's no copied ult, and the first kill comes in, so opportunity here for Team 1 to just snowball over the top, and Line Pro throws good money after bad there, throws that Invisible Woman ult down, and gets killed. This is going to be a full team wipe here. The attackers getting deleted.
Yeah, that's devastating. Committing an invisible boundary after I've already lost the fight. And that, again, it's a pretty important ability to be able to block that LOS. Kind of crucial. Nama, though, of course, has a Fate of Both Worlds ready, so you'll always have that to rely on. Team 1, very different strategist core, of course, as they want to bring the Loki in where possible. Kraken impact at the ready. Nama has to hold ultimate for that, most likely. Here comes the Seduction, no straight away. Frost Mountain trying to reposition now, but it's going to be a Lunar Snow ultimate for both sides. Dance of the Butterfly concludes here as Honoro backs up, and Pulse Cannon. Oh, Frost Mountain, maybe too close. Has to play close because needs the healing from his Luna, but that's an ultimate you're going to wish you had back.
Melio into the backline now. Dance the Butterfly. Rajaro as well, keeping the front line stable. These two ultimates together, working miraculously. 0% getting cleaned up once again. Only 1:30 on the clock. This looks to be another team wipe. Full reset here for the attackers. Team 1 going to be able to regain at full strength. And you don't really have any defensive tools, and you're going up against the Kraken impact. This is really a dire scenario here for 0%. I'd say they have 2 fights, but they got to take this one so fast because unless you get just like the godly shutdown on Winter Soldier, this is a really rough spot.
1 minute 15 left. Switch over from Oniro here. Frost Mountain also couldn't get value off the flyers early. Now, can they get a little bit of a pick? There's a combo here, of course. The Bionic Arm Force Resist can really drag someone out of position, but it's a little finicky, hard to line up. Isidore has to go for a Hulk smash here. In the meantime, Melio's taken down. Attention span being consumed here by the Hulk as Team 1 now need to deal with his Kraken impact or make use of it. Naga blown up midway through it though. Oniro pretty handy with the roster stern apparently. And this is a great little opening now for 0%. Trust me, no reason to use his ultimate, the only one remaining. And so Naga will set up a portal here for a retake attempt.
Hulk still works.
You have no position here. Are you even? I don't think he's going to get the portal there in time. Just a second too late. And he's just going to have to go back and reset here. Can hold the cart for just a moment, but yeah, needs to take that back spawn. Needs to swap. And 0%, they get over the line. Nice attention grabbing play from Isidore, and everyone from Team 1 turned to focus farm. I think that's a bit of a mistake that they needed to get aggressive. But 0% find the way through, capping first point, but a lot of clock has already run down.
Love that though from Rajaro. Push there in towards the back line. Oniro dealt with pretty handily. So Team 1 now can re-establish priority and start to find ways to abuse his high ground. Even if it's just giving Psylocke a decent, place to drop down from. Or God forbid, Rajaro to be able to cover more ground diving on in. And yeah, there's a world where you want to ignore the Hulk if you can, but his whole kit is designed to make that very difficult to do. So chokeslam here, Rajaro, no chance to pop the freedom charge. That's why Emma Frost is so good right now.
Hook into chokeslam, but that's a big kill from Melio. Solos his opposite number here in the backline, now pulling a ton of attention with the clone as well. Forces the Invisible Woman ult, and still alive here. Still delaying, trust me. Meanwhile, killing them into the fight here, fighting through the boundary. Impressive performance there from Team 1. Just an absolute beatdown.
Yeah, I did. The Emma Frost gameplay has been really nice, but trust me, has just found a way to have outsized impacts over these rounds, just in terms of raw damage output. Basically, every E is connecting. It looks like all those crystals being shattered constantly. Making use of the diamond form there as well, finding good damage opportunities, building a lot of these ultimates up. There's another seduction just around a corner for them. 0% though, they are armed to the teeth. Could be a problem though. How many debuffs can Naga apply? I think that's pretty good. About 3-4 players caught out by that. Now he's looking for resets, but with that fate of both worlds in play, no one's going to get low enough towards that threshold to allow for more impacts to be used. Trust me there. Clearly just wants to remain in the front line inside that diamond form, and he's charged up, ready to go. This could be scary. Seduction getting it popped, and Oniro gets drawn over towards Team 1. That should help them deal with it now. His Legacy a little bit out at sea here as both tanks focus on the enemy Emma Frost and deals with them.
Oh, the freeze perfectly timed there. Just barely saves 0%, allows them to reset. They have not made any progress here on second point whatsoever. Being just absolutely crunched into this choke. And Team 1 still have the double support ult for this fight. Big advantage. Despite the 4 ultis for 0%, I'd still rather be Team 1 in this fight. They have so much sustain. You need to find some burst kills. Maybe Frostbound could get something done, but he's just playing the frontline damage game.
Okay, that was a seduction getting popped there. Frostbound picked up early. Tough times there for Oniro. Maybe he likes it. Here comes the fate of both worlds. But again, hard to get these resets now. And Loki clones do help in that regard. Oniro that will be brought down. We are 10 seconds left in the round. 0% have really faltered here, Jake. Tough to make any further progress, but cast your minds back to the water midtown. It was a similar situation there, and 0% was still able to prevail. So don't write them off yet.
That's another big kill though from Melio. He's just absolutely spawn camming Frost Mountain. The rest of the team not faring much better. Cannot break this hold. And Team 1 gonna make that defense happen here, just inches into second point.
We're showing here for Team 1. Again, there's like one fight, I think, where Isidore is able to get that Hulk smash where things get a little bit dicey for Team 1. But outside of that, 0% had to throw quite a different looks at Team 1. And ultimately, they ended up almost mirroring that composition, right? With the exception of that Invisible Woman. That was not a pick that Team 1 wanted when, Luna Snow is available, as well as Loki. That's where they want to be. And I think the right choice has been to play the cap and not try to mirror the Hulk here when they've, not had anyone sort of band that out. And I don't know, 0%'s protects now, as good as the Hulk has looked, the Invisible Woman seems a little narrow.
I gotta say, trust me has been the factor. I'm watching the highlights from a minute ago that just hit YouTube. He saves his 100-point charge by going into diamond form. After that, he pops the ultimate, keeps it for basically back-to-back team fights. They couldn't get out of their spawn for 90 seconds because he was just holding that front line.
Yeah, just a huge dominant performance. Has been outstanding on quite a few of these games. On the Emma Frost, such an important dominant. I mean, exactly, right? Like, he's top damaging the server on Emma Frost and almost top damage block, just a little bit behind Rajaro and the vanguards of the other squad. But I mean, this is just a huge performance there from your Emma Frost. Team1 look a lot more comfortable in this meta. And 0% had this idea with the Hulk Iron Man, but I think without the team up with Namor, I'm just skeptical of the Hulk as a character. I think the Namor team up is what really elevates it, what allows you to pump all that damage and deal with the Psylocks, deal with the caps in your flank. But without it, I'm just not convinced.
Yep. I think that's fair. Kind of talked about this pound for pound. Team1 felt like they were a little bit better. Fate goes extra low here on the way out, but somehow Team1 are able to withstand much of this poke damage. Rajaro does fall, but there's a Psylocke advantage, an edge to exploit here for Team1. Lacey's trying to find the front line, but God, trust me, has been astoundingly good on the Emma Frost today. Legacy probably gonna have to back up in a moment here. Gets their soul drawn out. They want to try and fight, interrupt, trust me. Puts them in harm's way. End up going pretty low. Have to use that diamond form, and just so happens that Rajaro is in the vicinity, so easy choke slam, force him back. But Oniro here has to reposition towards his own backline. And look at those health bars on 0%. They are buckling, they're crumbling, and Legacy is the first to go down.
Trust me, stacked. They're going to go with the copy here. Need to use this Luna Snow ultimate soon to break out of this hold. You're still down one, and now you're just fighting from a deficit, trying to stabilize Team1 with the better support Stratus ultimates. What they're going to do first here, copy Luna Snow, but such a better timing here for Team1. They have so many chances to bring this back into the fight.
Seduction was being threatened there, so it's a fate of both worlds being popped by Line Pro. So both of those Luna Snow ultimates being used in very quick succession, and Fate can hold onto his for a little bit later on. This is not good for 0%. In comes Isidore though, trying to confer some of that overshield over to teammates if possible, but it's not really going to cut the mustard when all of Team1 are ready to throw down, and Rajaro has a freedom charge of his own. Legacy low, taken down midway through that attempt at seduction. Melio, the cleanup crew, janitorial duties being carried out by the Psylocke now. And this is a last-ditch attempt here in the series for Frost Mountain. Nobody really affected by that dance of the butterfly. No follow-up. Kraken Impact will be the next solo ultimate to step up here, but that's being used on a clone only. Line Pro down. And there it is. Team1 get that checkpoint. Not far from victory, and over 4 minutes to find it.
Yeah, I mean, it's so hard to make this hold when the other team knows they only have to push a little bit. Team1 not waiting for that, though. They want to get the cleanup. They want to just end things right here, right now. Regeneration domain is down. This creates another window for Melio to dive the spawn. He has ulti. Clone as well. Yeah, Iron Fist, good luck with this fight, man. Melio is just tearing them limb from limb, finishing off 0% and booking Team1 their ticket to the money match. You have the Strange Portal. Melio's going to use it, though, to get back into the fight.
How convenient. Melio can use that to fall back to the rest of their team. Now, full commitment from 0%. They're going to dive in. Regeneration domain popped. Yes, why not? Get those numbers up, especially because your Emma Frost is kind of gapping you in terms of the damage numbers, and trust me, ain't done. Look at this. That is a lot of seduced targets there right now. Like a Sabrina Carpenter concert. Trust me, swinging. Full charge, of course. Coming out of diamond form just to flatten people. And there it is. That second fate of both worlds should be enough to seal the deal. We're going to get over the line here, and it will be Team1 advance to our money match to take on old foes, Virtus Pro.
Just a really impressive performance there from Team1, front to back. They have a little bit of a stumble on map 2, but then the adjustment comes in the ban phase, and it's just lights out for 0%. Consistently behind in terms of the meta as far as like what they're playing, the picks, strategy overall, so much stronger. And then trust me, I think it was such a difference maker on the Emma Frost. But they were able to play the Emma Frost like all series long and just consistently outperforming, consistently creating winning opportunities. I mean, top damaging the server in some cases, which is kind of wild to be doing it that consistently on Emma Frost.
And I feel like just 2 weeks ago, Mitch, we were saying, wow, he's doing it on Groot. He's doing it on this tank. He's doing it on that Vanguard. Man's got it all. You look at the MVP numbers, 14 final blows and 25,000, 26,000 damage.
Melio is 39-1, by the way, elimination.
Oh my goodness.
That is disgusting Psylocke performance. Trust me, I mean, I don't know about you guys. I'm an Emma Frost main. I do like to get to play against Cap a lot of the time because, you know, being able to, if you can just stop him, he cannot shield, obviously, during the animation. So if people can focus him down, it is huge. But that play is unbelievable from Trust Me. Really, really impressed here by the Frenchman, and Team1 get the dub.
I was always impressed by Destroyed's Hella, but I really like this Naga-Melio combo at the front line. Trust Me, and Rajaro always strong on the Vanguards. And then we didn't really talk about it, but Fate and Crook, 2 deaths each, Jake. These guys stay alive no matter the game mode.
Yeah, this last map was a beatdown, frankly. Team1 in full control. I mean, even first point, like arguably they could have even full held it, but whatever, they lose first, they make the hold rock solid on second. It gets even more dominant. Felt like when they were in that spot at the start of second, they just had it exactly dialed how to approach every fight. Even one time, I think Naga got cut out first by a chokeslam, maybe it was the cap, and they still keep fighting aggressive, right? Down one. I think that's the mark of a confident, strong team that knows that, okay, we might lose one, but we're still going to fight with full strength. And if you make any mistakes from there, we will come back. We will still be able to clutch and win the fight. And that's something that you don't see from that many teams outside of the top level.
Big shout out to Juriki, first time chatter, just spinning some GIFs in our chat. Shout out to everyone on YouTube as well as Twitter. We are live on every platform possible, and soon it'll be TikTok. Last night I was streaming from my cell phone, being like, do I have access yet? Not for 24 hours, sir. Jake, we're going to get there next week. In the meantime, though, do you think Team1 has a chance of taking down Virtus Pro and surviving to next week?
They've actually always proven that they have a chance. They have a shot against VP. They've consistently taken maps off them, put the pressure on VP. However, VP has always been just that few inches ahead, whether it's the stability, the consistency. I will say this is a very different meta than many that we've seen in the past. I think Team1 are probably pretty happy to see this development into a meta that is a little bit less stable, is a little bit more chaotic. I think that does play to their strengths a little bit better, but I wonder, VP has also been a very flexible team that has attacked team strengths with the ban phase, and now they've got more bans with which to do that. So curious to see as we get into that next series, how the ban protect phase goes in. How does VP see the meta? They've been a team that's broken the mold before and kind of led the way in terms of strategy.
Somebody's got to break Finzy's back on Emma Frost. It hasn't been done yet. Our MVP, though, tonight. Did it go to Trust Me? Did it go to Naga? Who did it go to? They had so many to choose from. It is Trust Me on the Emma Frost. She was back-breaking, keeping the beam at a full 100 charge, just dishing out the damage on offense and defense. The ultimate, I still don't know how to use it properly, but he seemed to shut down the opponents at the perfect times throughout these series.
It's interesting because obviously you're such a good long sustained frontliner with the abilities to stop a lot of those more mobile tanks, but your ultimate is best to use on an enemy team's backline, because if you can prevent the enemy strategists from ulting and then have them just walk towards you, they're dead. So you really want to go aggressive with that. You really want to push through the enemy frontline when you're making use of that seduction. There are a couple of ultimates that you sort of maybe would like to shut down elsewhere, but that sort of silence effect is very powerful. And you'd like to see the Emma Frost, honestly, in some of these single shield scenarios. It's tough against Doctor Strange to make use of some of those abilities, but you just choke him. He can't do anything up close anyway. That's obviously where you're going to be advantaged. But she's awesome. She kind of does it all right now. But now what we're realizing is that she can put out a disgusting amount of damage too.
Yeah, it was like when Zarya first got figured out by Sinatra and friends. You can just steamroll with her charged up at the front line. Being able to juggle the beam through her diamond form is crucial. Jake, we take a look at the team overall. Team1 without LG in their name, looking a little bit stronger this week.
I mean, they've always been that team that's next up in EU, and I think that trend is likely to continue. So far, all other comers have really fallen here in the challenger map. As much as VP has been dominating in the money match, well, Team1 has kind of always been winning in the challenger match. They've not really let anybody else get a crack at VP, and they're going to keep that streak up. Maybe this is the week, though. I mean, VP, this is a very different meta for them. It's kind of a reset in terms of strategy. That being said, it's hard to bet against a team that has been so dominant, so many championships, whether it's here in Rivals Fight Night, Marvel Rivals Invitational, Marvel Rivals Championship. Virtus Pro has always won in Europe. They are incredibly dominant. Looking ahead to global events, really to face a stiffer challenge. And we'll see if T1 can bring that a little bit early here.
Mitch, we have that giant leaderboard of how things have gone over the last 10 weeks. Virtus Pro has won 9 of the 10 weeks. The 10th week, it was this Team1 squad while wearing the Luminosity banner, right? That was week 5.
Yes.
I believe VP sat out that week too, though. So
yeah, it was week 4.
No, VP was on a plane, so they were gone. And then Virtus Pro week 5 comes back and steals the crown.
Yes. I mean, this is obviously a pretty impressive level of dominance. We actually see this in a lot of early esports scenes, honestly, where one team just seems to get it pretty early. But I think for VP, they realized that the big tournaments with the big prize money are still around the corner. So this is not a time for them to be taking their foot off the gas. And they've got the kind of mindsets. We know a lot of these players from the past in other games, they are not going to slack. So they're going to continue to be front runners and innovators in each metagame. And they definitely want to make an example of Team1 if they want to keep that sort of undisputed top status this next game. I'd like to see a close one. Virtus Pro, like Jake said, find enough edges, I think, that they can take a Series 3-0, even if it looks close in game. On paper, it just might not.
I'm going to go ahead and goad Finzi and Nevix here. Your opponent, not once, banned Groot. I don't even think they want Groot in the game. And once he was gone, they weren't worried about it. So you guys should probably just not ban Groot tonight and see what happens, Virtus Pro. Let's just get weird.
I miss Groot, man. Everyone bans Groot. I kind of miss Groot. Like, it's a little OP, but you know what? It's kind of fun. Like the playmaking on the walls.
Don't be scared, Nevix. Don't be scared. We're going to break. When we come back, it's the EU Championship match. Congratulations to Team 1. When there's no Groot, there's shields. Invisible ones, physical ones, magical ones, made by a mystical man who has weird fingers that he twirls in circles, and then gaping holes just expand and expand. And do you enter them? Do you leave them? So many decisions to make, Mitch.